Ozark Season 4. Episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am, if you're rewatching or watching Ozark, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case, you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be Ozark Season 4, Episode 12. The title of this episode is called Through the Water. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode for the second time, as I have watched the entire run of the final episodes, just waiting to do my review after the second watch. Aside from the first two episodes of the second half, I've rewatched every episode twice before I did my review. Anyway, we start off with Charlotte. She picks up Jonah in the van and says that she drank wine by herself last night until she passed out. They successfully bail out Marty and Wendy after the incident that happened for $20,000. Wendy says, "Thank you, really." Mel Saddam tells Nathan that he doesn't ever think they're going to find Ben due to Nelson being a hitman for the drug cartel, Mexican drug cartel, and you see him at the place that Wendy and Ben were at, and it's most likely that he took Ben out, which we know is the truth. Now, Ruth and Rachel are talking to Charles Wilkes as he wants to pay back Wendy in a bad way. Wilkes thinks the easy way would be to put everything into Rachel's name, but Wilkes will talk to a judge. Rachel says Ruth is a goddamn redneck success story. I agree. Wilkes says he'll set up the meeting, says it's yes ma'am, no ma'am with this judge. Annalise asks Sam if he's ever been baptized. Nathan says he wants Charlotte and Jonah to move back with him as he thinks they're in danger. Ruth tells the judge if she changed, which she said, or Ruth asks, the judge asks Ruth if she's changed, which she says yes. She tells Ruth if she cleans her record, they'll be tied for life. Wendy is at home drinking wine when Nathan stops by to drop off a petition for Jonah and Charlotte to come with him. Wendy says, "Get the fuck out of my house," as she slams the door on him. Ronnie Wyckoff stops by Ruth's place and says they actually have someone in custody for the murder of Darlene and Wyatt. And he shows in his truck, or his car, in the trunk, Wyatt's guitar. And Ruth had wondered where it had gone. Wendy and Marty go to talk to Schaefer, but he wants his son's voting machines put in Wisconsin and other states. Ruth's doing some redecorating at night, shooting, and Rachel doesn't want her to do that, as it kind of makes her go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Ruth asks what to do, and Rachel says don't take her advice, and now Rachel does a little shooting of her own. The judge stops by at Ruth's in the morning. She notices the bullet holes. She says it was her daddy's. Says that she always was arrested because it was her doing and nobody else's fault. Wilkes must have taken a shine to her while she was working at the casino. That's how she explains why he's so high for her, essentially. Ruth and Marty have a meeting with Mel Saddam, and they're letting him know that he can be reinstated as a cop. He just has to get the fuck out of there. Sam indeed does get baptized by Annalise in the swimming pool. Who gets baptized in a swimming pool? Isn't it usually in a lake or ocean? I don't know. I guess maybe I don't really know what I'm talking about there. Ruth gives Jonah the goat jar that has Ben's ashes in it. Marty, Wendy, and Camilla have a meeting with Omar Navarro, and the cartel boss says he wants them to have even more production. Wendy and Marty are trying to get out of this thing, and he wants more and more and more. Man. Outside by the vehicle, because of this, Wendy screams, "Fuck!" really loud. And then Wendy calls Jim to tell him to speed up to 4 days. Ruth goes to prison to visit the guy that the police have in custody for the murder of Wyatt and Darlene. She asks him why he stole the guitar, and he says it was for drugs. What do you expect? Mel Saddam talks with Maya, because they're kind of a thing, I think. In court, Nathan is trying to reach Mel Saddam, but he is not answering, as he, of course, is due in court. And then the judge decides that Jonah and Charlotte can decide for themselves where they want to go. Jonah breaks the news to Marty and Wendy that they're going to go with Grandpa. Wendy gets on her hands and knees and begs Nathan for him not to take the children away from her. Nathan says that to stop making a fool out of herself because they're never coming back to her. And when in the van, Wendy bangs her head on the window, the side of her head on the window like that. And that's how the episode ends. So I didn't really like this episode that much. I just felt it really didn't really show us anything. Like Jonah and Charlotte are leaving, but they really shouldn't leave because they don't really know Nathan that well. But I don't know. It is what it is. The character of the episode is going to be Ruth. And my score of the episode is, I would say, 8.2 out of 10. I like the stuff with Ruth and Rachel. That was good. The stuff with Wendy was kind of annoying, and it just didn't really lead anywhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that, but you've heard what I have to say now. Of course, it's your turn. If you're a fan of Ozark or anything else that I put on my channel, such as Walking Dead reviews, Dexter New Blood, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Lost. I think I'm going to redo Lost, actually. I want to make it even more better. UFC live fight reactions, which will happen this weekend. And just to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure that you smash that like button. If you want to share this video with anybody you know or on any of your social media platforms, I would appreciate that. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Ozark. Who would be your character of the episode, and what would you score it out of 10? I gave it an 8.2. Maybe you give it a higher score. And, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway, so you might as well subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.